What precipitated Donald Trump firing the FBI director, James Comey? Now, we all know, we've gone over this, that James Comey was looking into the Russian ties of the Trump campaign and possibly the Trump administration and possibly Donald Trump himself and perhaps financial dealings. So now what we find out today is the internal proceedings and what was happening inside the White House. As usual, leaks inside the White House, senior advisors to the president talking to the press, in this case Politico. So let's dive in there and see what happened. They explained Trump's firing of high-profile FBI director on the 110th day after the president took office marked another sudden turn for an administration that has fired its acting attorney general, national security advisor, and now its FBI director, whom Trump had praised until recent weeks and even blew a kiss to during a January appearance. Indeed. So that's a lot of folks fired or recused because of the Russian investigation. And you still think there's no pattern at all? Well, let's go further in and find out what was happening behind the scenes. They say that President Trump had grown enraged by the Russia investigation. Two advisors said, these are not advisors to Politico, they're advisors to President Trump. Now, frustrated by his inability to control the mushrooming narrative around Russia, he repeatedly asked aides why the Russia investigation wouldn't disappear and demanded that they speak out for him. He would sometimes scream at television clips about the probe, one advisor said. Look, this guy's totally unhinged. Even his own guys know that he's unhinged. And look, if it was a no big deal issue, is he gonna be in a rage saying, why won't it go away, and yelling at the TV? Well, the dude's so unhinged, it's possible, I suppose. But more likely, the things that he gets most mad at are the ones that are truest, the ones that have the most facts behind them, and the things that he is most worried about. So they explained Trump had grown angry with the Russia investigation, particularly Comey admitting in front of the Senate that the FBI was investigating his campaign and that the FBI director wouldn't support his claims that President Barack Obama had tapped his phones in Trump Tower. So he feels like, well, if I'm the president, you have to just do whatever I tell you to do, and if I tell you to lie, you have to lie. If I say Trump tapped my phones and it's not true, your job as the FBI director is to go out and lie to everybody. And when Comey didn't do that, he's super mad. And what are you investigating me for? I'm your boss. I'm not gonna allow you to investigate me. And you might find something. No. See, he still thinks he's running a family business. He's like, why would I allow one of my employees to investigate me? Yeah, of course I'm a crook. Look at what I did at Trump University. Look at what I did with the casinos and all the bankruptcies. What? This is so silly. No, if I've got a guy investigating me and he's my employee, I fire him so that he can't find out what kind of a crook I am. He's like, no brainer, I got it. But that's not how the government works, because you're not just working for yourself, you're supposed to be working for all of us. So we have to make sure that you're working for us and not for your own financial interests or whatever other deals that you might have done. And the FBI director is not your lackey. He is not some lower level employee at Trump Tower that you could just fire when he annoys you by investigating you. Okay, now we're gonna get into how much Donald Trump misunderstands the world. You're gonna see what a knucklehead he is here based on what he thought was gonna happen. Okay, they explained that the fallout seemed to take the White House by surprise. Trump made a round of calls around 5 p.m. asking for support from senators. Wait, you fire the FBI director investigating your ties to Russia, and it surprises you that people are not on board with that? That they're a little concerned about that? He was even surprised the Democrats were pissed. Oh my God, that's so unbelievably stupid. Listen to this. White House officials believed it would be a win-win because Republicans and Democrats alike had problems with the FBI director, one person briefed on the administration's deliberations said. You think that you're gonna fire the sitting director for investigating you and Democrats are gonna go, oh, that's a win-win, yeah. Way to go, Donnie. That is so stupid. Even if you're on Donald Trump's side, how could you not see that that would cause everybody to go, whoa, you just fired the cop looking into you. That means that there's an excellent chance you're guilty. Even if he isn't guilty, how could you not see that that's what everybody would think? That would be the natural conclusion. Oh, I thought the Democrats would like it if I fired the guy investigating me. Oh, I'm telling you, he is way, way dumber than anyone else thinks. He's everything. Who knew healthcare was complicated? Who knew North Korea was complicated? Who knew that if I fired the guy investigating me that people wouldn't like that? I thought they'd like it. I thought they'd be a win-win. You did. The thing is, guys, what's amazing is he did think that. He is that dumb. Okay. Instead, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer told him he was making a big mistake. And Trump seemed, quote, taken aback, according to a person familiar with the call. You called the leader of the opposing party and you tell him you're firing the guy investigating you. And he's like, dude, I don't think that's a good idea, right? And you're like, what? You're not happy about that? Oh, that's so weird. Who is that stupid? It's unbelievable how stupid he is. He thought Chuck Schumer would be happy about the news. Okay, by Tuesday evening, the president was watching the coverage of his decision and frustrated. No one was on TV defending him, a White House official said. Now, so this is Joffrey, right? The child king. So he's like, why is nobody defending me when I fired the guy investigating me? Why don't you go out there and defend me? Because it's a stupid, knuckleheaded move to do. Look, the only way that it's dumber than if he's guilty is if he's not guilty. If he actually doesn't have a deal with the Russians, firing James Comey is so, like, that's even dumber than I could even imagine. If somebody's investigating you and you didn't do it and you fired him, the message that you send to everybody is, I likely did it. Oh my God, but the reality is, of course he did it, of course he did it. And you think this guy's smart enough to cover his tracks? No, there's gonna be documentation everywhere. If it's not Comey, it's gonna be somebody else. I know he's gonna put in one of his henchmen to be the head of the FBI, Giuliani, Christie. Maybe he'll put in one of his knuckleheaded sons. Maybe he'll put Bo Dietl in. Okay, I don't know. It doesn't matter. There's too many people at the FBI who have access to that. There's also people at the Treasury Department who have access to your financial records, you idiot. What? Man, these investigations are more complicated than I realized. Okay, so then he gets mad, of course, the child does, and he starts tweeting. The Democrats have said some of the worst things about James Comey, including the fact that he should be fired, but now they play so sad. He's the president, he's writing things like they play so sad. God, if you're proud of this guy, you're one of the saddest people I've ever met. Like, oh yeah, I like it when the president's a baby. And you should go, why would he be defending me? You guys are playing so sad. And then he says, Comey lost the confidence of almost everyone in Washington, Republican and Democrat alike. When things calm down, they will be thanking me. What's amazing about that is, I'm telling you right now, you think like that's him being like bragging and saying outrageous things to get people. No, he believes it. He is so stupid. I know I've said it many times, but I can't say it enough. He is such a child that he's like, no, they'll thank me. No, they'll thank me later. This will work out great. No. I thought it was gonna be a win-win. I didn't know being president was gonna be this complicated. I didn't know doing a financial deal with the Russians and then doing whatever they wanted when I become president would be this complicated and I would get caught. I didn't know that. You'll be thanking me later. My guess is thanking you is not what we're gonna be doing later.
Podcast the Young Turks anytime you want. tytnetwork.com/join.
I think it's weird.
No, it's not weird. In fact, you'll think,
I'm like a smart person.
Do it now, tytnetwork.com/join.